me another minute or so just to have some other persons hop on, and then we're gonna get started. In the meantime, as you wait, if you have been finding value in the information that I've been sharing with you for the past 8 weeks, go ahead, like, share, comment, and for the first time tonight, subscribe. I'm actually, for the first time, I'm actually live on YouTube. So thank you so much for my YouTube viewers who are on tonight. I usually just record on Facebook and then post on YouTube. But tonight I'm actually live on both platforms. So I'm live on Facebook and live on YouTube tonight. Thank you so much, Chad. I'm happy that you enjoy my head bopping at the beginning of the show. It is my most uncomfortable part of the show, making sure that I'm looking cute or head bopping before I actually get into the information. So thank you. I appreciate the fact that you find that part of the show your favorite. All right, so I'm gonna get started now. And for the past few weeks, we've been talking about attitude. So welcome to another episode of Mind Matters, where we will be discussing matters of the mind because the mind matters. I am Alta Marie Elvis, and I want to thank you so much for joining me on this mindset journey. Remember, if you're on, like, share, comment, whether you're watching it live or you're watching it afterwards. Don't I like it, share it, comment, subscribe if you're watching on YouTube. All right, so as I said, for the past 3 weeks, we have been focusing on improving our attitudes. And as I said, your attitude is one of the biggest things that affects your whole journey to success. So this week, we're going to close out our sessions on attitude with the topic, gratitude is a must. And we all know the song by Coffee, Toast. And in that song, she says, gratitude is a must. All right. And that is not just a saying that we should say, but it's something that we should live out in our lives. And I'm going to let you know just why that is important. All right. So as we grow up, or even sometimes when we're having bad days, you'll hear somebody say, well, you must be wake up on the wrong side of the bed this morning. Well, having an attitude of gratitude is a way that we can wake up on the right side of the bed every single day. All right. So this means you're going to have to make a conscious habit of expressing appreciation for an amazing life. You may not feel that your life is amazing, but once you start being grateful and thankful for the things that are actually going right and the things that you actually that you actually find that brings value to your life, then that attitude of gratitude will begin to grow. So what is an attitude of gratitude? An attitude of gratitude means that you're going to operate in a space of abundance instead of a space of scarcity and fear. So you're not going to dwell on what you don't have, you're going to dwell on what it is that you actually do have. Each of us have a choice. Each of us has a choice as to what we focus on. Remember, as I said in previous sessions, that your attitude is your choice. All right. So does this mean that we're going to never have bad days, or we're not allowed to have bad days? Of course not. Life doesn't work that way. All right. Life always is going to throw a curveball at us. That's just life. But being grateful, having a grateful heart, we're able to focus on the bigger picture, so that when adversity strikes, or when we are going through challenges, or whatever it is that has us down, or has us in a place where we're not feeling like we are winning, then we wouldn't lose ourselves in the process. So having an attitude of gratitude is absolutely important. All right, grateful people give thanks for everything in their lives, even on the days when they feel like nothing is going right. And I'm sure we've had days where we feel like our world is going to end and nothing, absolutely nothing is going right in our lives. But even on those days, when you have an attitude of gratitude, you're able to see the silver lining. You're able to give thanks for whatever it is that's working in your life. Friday was one of those days for me. I just was having bad news after bad news after bad news. I took my girls to the doctor and I was just having bad news. And I called my husband and I said, honey, I don't know what to think. I'm trying to have an attitude of gratitude, but everything just seems to be going wrong today. But at the end of the day, I still had my girls. I was able to pick up on whatever it is that was going on with them early, so that we're able to deal with it. So even in me having to go through that, I was able to find the silver lining. I was able to be thankful for something, to be grateful for something, even though that felt like one of the worst days in the world. All right, so there is a good reason to adopt, this mindset of having an attitude of gratitude, because studies show that persons who express gratitude, this raises their happiness by 25%. That's a lot of percent. That's a lot of percentage, So if we are expressing our gratitude, then it is going to increase our happiness. Who doesn't want to be happy? And one of the best ways to do that is to be grateful for what it is that you already have, to be content with what you already have. All right, so when we take the moment to give thanks for what we have instead of reflecting on what we don't have, it will fill you up. It will fill you up with happiness. If gratitude is so good, it's so good for your mental health, it's so good for your emotional health, why is it that there are so many people who are struggling with this practice? Why is it that, as humans, we tend to be fixated on the bad stuff? Because that's just how we're wired. We're hardwired like that. We're hardwired to think about the things that are negative, the things that aren't going so well. And scientists have found out that, negative events have a greater impact on your brain than positive ones. So the amount of effect that something good would have, yes, you'd feel good in that moment, but if something negative happens right after that, trust me, that whole positive thing is out the window. You don't even remember that. So as a result of this, persons, tend to move further away from gratitude, because they're essentially just focusing on what's actually going wrong in their lives. All right. So as we go through tonight's session, we're going to talk about some ways, some of the benefits of having an attitude of gratitude, and some ways that we can actually improve our attitude of gratitude. So, because as we said, gratitude is a must. It's something that we have to have if we want to be successful, if we want to have a happier life. All right. So gratitude will shift you from a higher frequency, and it will allow you to attract much better things. You want to attract positive, you want to attract better. And because you want to attract better, you have to have gratitude. And gratitude is different from thankfulness. Thankfulness, you can express your thankfulness by just saying that you're thankful. Gratitude has to do with your whole attitude of thankfulness. So it's a little bit deeper. All right, so gratitude is gratefulness plus attitude, which gives you gratitude. All right, so let us look at 3 benefits of adopting an attitude of gratefulness. All right, so the first one that we're going to look at is that it increases your self-esteem. And growing up, especially as teenagers, we our self-esteem is affected by so many things. And not even as teenagers, even as adults, because we focus more on self-esteem when we're talking about teenagers, but as adults, our self-esteem can be um, affected by so many things. But because we're adults, we tend to not deal with it. We tend to not talk about it. All right. But in having an attitude of gratitude, it improves your self-esteem. What you think about is what you become. If you constantly focus on the negative things, then you're going to constantly feel anxious. You're going to constantly feel depressed and frustrated, because thinking negative thoughts and feeling good about yourself don't go together. You can't you can either be hot or cold. It can't be both. So you're either going to have negative self thoughts, or you're going to have positive. They're not going to work together. And you'll always see, as I said, that the negative is always going to outweigh the positive if you're thinking negative, or if negative things are going on in your life, if you don't have an attitude of gratitude. All right, so being grateful for what you already have instead of dwelling on what you don't have helps you to focus on the positive, on the positive. So it lightens your mood, it improves your overall outlook on life. The Bible tells us in all things, give thanks. It doesn't say in some things, give thanks. Nor does it tell us to be thankful for all things. It says in all things, give thanks. So whatever it is that you're going through, whatever challenges that you have, whatever situation you have going on, find that silver lining. Find something in your life that's going right and be thankful for it. Number two, another benefit of having an attitude of gratitude, it makes you healthier. People sometimes, a lot of times, people underestimate the connection with your mind and your body. So because you are thinking negatively, it affects your body negatively. All right. So your negative attitude towards life, it can affect your whole physical level. It can make you sick. Stress can cause you to be sick. That's something we talked about last week. If you're constantly stressed, if you're burnt out, then it can cause you to get sick. You can get high blood pressure. You can have mental disorders. The studies even show that persons who have an attitude of gratitude, they feel less pain. And when I mean physical pain, amazing. That's how connected your mind is to your body. The way that you think is connected to your physical being, your physical wellness. So when you're thinking positive, when you're grateful, that is also going to affect your body. So when you're grateful and appreciative of things around you, you feel calmer, you feel connected to yourself. And in this place, there is less room for anxiety, less worry, less fear. And then the mind will be at ease. And that is a beautiful state to be in. Who doesn't want to have happiness? Who doesn't want to be at peace? Who doesn't want to have a peaceful, happy life? I know I do. So being grateful and having an attitude of gratitude is something that I'm surely working on. It's not always easy, but it's something that we have to be consistent with. Make it a habit in our lives. So we'll get to that when we talk about some ways that we can get our attitude of gratitude in check. All right, so number three, what other benefit? Now, the third benefit of having an attitude of gratitude, it helps us to be more resilient. A lot we go through So many things in life, even now going through the pandemic, we here in Grand Bahama, where I live, we just went through Dorian last year, Hurricane Dorian, and the island was devastated. We had so many deaths. We had so many persons who lost their homes, lost their possessions, lost their businesses. So many persons had to close down so many persons left the island because of what it is that they went through. And then right after that, the pandemic just came and just put a whole big damper on everything. Just as we started to seem as though we were picking ourselves back up. So many persons lost so much. And you look at it and you say, well, how can those persons have an attitude of gratitude? How can these persons be grateful for anything after they've lost their entire family or after they've lost their home that they've worked on for years? But in going through these things, if we're able to find something that we're thankful for, something that we're grateful for, the great fact that we have life, the fact that we're able to share our experience with someone else, to help somebody else with what we have gone through, that helps with your resilience. It helps when you are grateful. When you go through things like this, it becomes easier to go through. Not saying it's going to be easy, it just becomes easier. All right. So you're with persons who have an attitude of gratitude. When they go through things, they're able to see that silver lining in the midst of all the darkness. When it seems like nothing is going your way, when you are grateful, you're able to see that silver lining. You're able to see the blessings of God, even though it seems as though your world is turning upside down. And remember, you always have to remember that, no failure, there's no failure in life. Every failure is a lesson. Every loss is a lesson. As a matter of fact, you never fail until you quit. So as you go through your challenges, as you go through your adversities, as you go through your trials, remember everything that you go through is a lesson. Be grateful, count it all joy. And that is my favorite text now. Count it all joy, because that is something I am practicing. That's something I'm trying to do. Counting, no matter how bad something may seem, how negative something may be in my life, I'm trying to find the joy in it. I'm trying to find the silver lining in it. As I said, sometimes it's not easy. Sometimes it's hard. But that is the reason why we have to practice. We have to constantly have that attitude of gratitude. There's always something in life to be grateful for. Always. Once there is life, there is something to be grateful for. Because life is a process. We may not have everything going our way now, but as we go through and as we continue through the process and as we continue through the journey, we will see where things are leveling out for our best. So take some time now. Think about it. What are you grateful for? Take just 30 seconds after, you have more time after this, but just about 30 seconds. Think about some of the things that you're grateful for. These are the things you're going to give thanks for every single day. Take the time, stop, smell the roses. Because if you concentrate on what you have, you'll always have more. And if you concentrate on what you don't have, you'll never have enough. So think about what you're grateful for, and each day give thanks for those. Now, we're going to talk about how we can develop an attitude of gratitude. How we can develop an attitude of gratitude. Just checking some of my comments to see if I am missing anything. All right, yes, Miss Lightburn, we are, when we have that attitude of gratitude, I'm sure each time she said she has proven it. Yes, James is an awesome, awesome book. My favorite book in the Bible is James. And my favorite text is James chapter 1, verses 2 and 3, which talks about counting it all joy. All right, so as I was saying, let us look at some of the ways that we can develop our attitude of gratitude. As I said, it's not easy. It is something that's going to take time. It's a process. It's a habit. We have to create that habit, and habits don't form overnight. Habit is something that you have to constantly do for it to be a part of your life. So the first thing you want to do is to keep a gratitude journal. If somebody was to ask you now, what are some of the things that you're grateful for? Would you be able to answer without overthinking? Would you be able to just off the top of your head, just riddle off all the things that you're grateful for? All right, remember I said that, negative things in your life always tend to outweigh, as far as your mind is concerned, the good things. So in writing these things down, you tend not to forget them. And then you're also refocusing your brain to focus on the good. You're rewriting your brain to focus on the good. All right, so this comes with practice and it comes with consistency. It's something that you have to always do. So you want to write these down daily. You want to have a daily gratitude journal. And it's best for you to do this in the morning when you just get up, before you check your phone, before you go on social media, before you start dealing with the kids. Get up an extra 5-10 minutes and just write things that you're grateful for. And this is a great way to start your day with a grateful heart. So try that every single day. Second thing that we can do to develop our attitude of gratitude is to express your gratitude. When you're grateful for something, you don't keep it to yourself. When you're grateful to someone, you don't keep that to yourself. You want to share with someone. You want to share your gratitude with the persons around you, your loved ones, your family, your friends, those that you're grateful for. You express this. Research shows that on days that persons strive to express their gratitude, they experience more positive emotions that day, and they report that they help more persons feel connected to others. So being grateful, expressing your gratitude, you are able to help somebody else, because now you're making somebody else feel good about what it is that they're doing in your life. So some of the ways that you can do this, you can write thank you notes. You can help someone along their journey. You can give meaningful compliments, not just the usual compliments that you give, the meaningful ones that persons will actually be like, oh wow, they actually noticed that. And then you want to celebrate the joys of other person's success. So when you see persons actually being joyful about something, or they have accomplished something, you want to celebrate with them. And that helps you express your gratitude for persons. Third thing you want to do is to celebrate small things. We're so conditioned by the world, by society, to celebrate the big things. Oh, I have a degree, a master's degree, but yet when or you have, oh, I just finished college, but the celebration is not there when you finish a semester, or when when you get an A on a test, or when you're struggling with an assignment, and when you turned it in, you got a better grade than what it was that you were expecting. We don't tend to celebrate the small things. We tend to celebrate the big things. But in doing this, in celebrating the small things, we find ourselves being less likely to give up. Because when you only celebrate the big things, you become demotivated easier. So when you accomplish something small on your way to your big goal, celebrate. And that way you're able to see the joy in it. You're able to be grateful for where your journey is leading you. So celebrate the small things. When you celebrate the small things, you are creating a habit that's helping to form your celebrating habit. All right, so take some time, pause, slow down, savor the small things. And our last and final one is to meditate on gratitude. that one there is kind of difficult for me because just sitting in silence, just having to do this live is difficult because I have a 4-year-old who is just noisy. He is constantly around. So my life is just constant noise. He wakes up when the sun comes up. So as soon as the sun comes up, he wakes you up. Mommy, it's morning. You need to wake up. So it's difficult in that way because there is hardly any time to have quiet time. And it's also difficult because when I have quiet time, that's when my mind starts to race and I start thinking about, okay, I probably should have done this today, or I forgot to do this. And so meditating is difficult. I don't know about you all. I don't know how meditating is for you guys, but for me, it's a bit difficult because of those things that I just mentioned. Now, when you add gratitude to meditating, you probably want to get up, as I said, an extra 5-10 minutes in the morning. It doesn't have to be long, but just taking that time to just think about the things that you're grateful for. Meditate on them. Let it simmer in your mind. Adding gratitude to meditation changes the whole look, the whole meditation. It just changes it because now you're not just sitting in silence trying to clear your mind. You're now focusing on something and you're focusing on the things that you're grateful for. And this kind of brings meditation to a different level. Now, with the organization that I'm a part of, our organization doesn't just show gratitude for things that we have now. You know, we show gratitude for things that we're expecting to receive. So one of the things that we say is, I am so happy and grateful now that I will retire at 40. That's one of my happy and grateful things I'm happy and grateful for. I'm going to be retired at 40. All right, so you want to be grateful for, and that puts a sense of belief, it puts a sense of faith along with your gratitude. So think about it. Do you have an attitude of gratitude? Are you able to see the silver lining on days when nothing seems to be going your way? When you're having those challenging days, are you able to see that? Are you able to count it all joy? Are you able to be grateful even when you have those, when life seems to be upside down? You have to have that attitude of gratitude. You have to, it is a must. It is a must. You have to, because that is the way for you to be happier. It is the way for you to succeed. It's the way for you to have peace. So start working on that. If you don't have that attitude of gratitude, start working on it. Start practicing those habits. Start writing in your journal. Start meditating. Start expressing your gratitude towards others. Whether it's your spouse, your children, your co-workers, whoever it is in your life, express it. Let persons know. Sometimes we assume that people know things, or they know that I'm grateful because of the things that I do, or they know that they know this without you having to say anything. But expressing it takes it to a whole nother level. So let's start doing that. Let us start having or creating an attitude of gratitude in our lives. Thank you so much, guys, for viewing. Thank you to my Facebook viewers, to my YouTube viewers. Thank you so much. I'm excited tonight because, as I said, it's my first time actually going live on YouTube. So pretty, pretty excited about that. Thank you so much to my supporting husband. He is always on. Thank you, Casey. Love you, honey. I'm grateful for you. So he is one of the persons that I'm truly grateful for in my life. Grateful for my children. So as you go through your day, just show your gratitude to those persons who are around you. Express it, say it, and you'll see the change. You'll see the change in your lives. Thank you so much for viewing, guys. I'll see you next week for another episode of Mind Matters as we continue on our mindset journey. Enjoy your week and may God continue to bless each of you and your families. Remember, change your mindset, change your lives, because mind matters. What's on your mind? Chad, this is for you.